Okay, so I said I was knee-deep in another project while I was painting those other models for you guys. First off, just want to say thank you for putting up with that very horrible videography regarding painting. I tried to show you what I could as far as painting those two models, because that's really going to launch us into this next stage, which is a bigger project. This guy being the bigger project, Super Dungeon Explorer. And I'm sorry I can't really get much of an angle going on here. Hold on, let me see if I can do this. No, way too big to fit on the table. Anyway, Super Dungeon Explorer is the next project, and I'm well underway on that. Let me show you just a little bit of what I've been working on. If you were actually watching the background on some of the other videos, you could see some of the works in progress. Take you down here. So here's the box. I went ahead and put some foam in the box. You can see the kobolds are just about done. This tray is for the heroes. I've got a metal ranger in there, a couple of heroes done, and this is really nice because this is my one-player mode. I can just pull this tray out and throw it. It actually is a pack mini tray, so I can pull that out, throw it in the pack mini, and now I have all my heroes when I go play my brother. So what I wanted to talk about in this video was actually challenges of a big project like this. Super Dungeon Explorer has, it comes with about 50 miniatures. Put this guy back on. There we go, so you can see what's going on. Comes with about 50 miniatures. Half of them are kobolds, and then you've got some other things like treasure chests. Got some spawn points, and you've got the bigger monsters and the heroes. So, you know, this could be really challenging for your typical gamer, because a gamer absolutely wants to buy this box, play and get to playing games as quickly as possible. But there's a lot of miniatures to paint. A collector is going to buy this box simply because of the value. There are so many minis that come in this box, and I love them. I think they're great. But you know, the main challenge for doing this kind of stuff is where do I find the time to do this? As gamers, a lot of us have the quote-unquote normal lives. I'm a 40-hour-a-week career-holding guy myself. I do some travel, as you may know if you've watched this video. I travel with the miniatures. I've got a very loving wife who is sadly not a gamer, but she's very supportive, and she gives me some time as I need it. But with hobbies like this that are just gigantic time sinks, you got to be careful about balancing your real life and your gaming hobby. So you might be playing this, if you're like the full-blown gamer and you do all kinds of different formats, you might be playing regular tabletop game like I'm playing Malifaux. So you Malifaux fans, don't be worried, I'm still playing Malifaux. This is going to be a side game for me, or a side project. So you've got your regular tabletop game. You might be playing MMOs online. A lot of people are getting addicted to things like Skyrim right now. You might be playing RPGs. And so the main challenge is when do you actually have time to paint this stuff? And how do you paint this stuff and not make it look like absolute garbage? And that's really what this whole entire series is about, is to try to get you into some good habits regarding painting, and just pacing yourself, and getting the results that you're going to be happy with. So, you know, at the same time, balancing that with, you know, all the responsibilities of career, wife, kids, what have you. Those are going to be the priority in your life, obviously. But you still want to make time for this kind of stuff, because for me, it's very relaxing. It makes me feel better about looking forward to the weekend and give me something to do with my brother. So that's really good. Now, as far as my methodology for painting these, it was actually pretty straightforward. I knew when I bought these that my main focus would be painting up heroes, because I love the heroes. This is the Druid, by the way. Love the hero models. Looks like I need to get him down on his base a little bit better. They're by far my favorite. The kobolds and the monsters are okay. I'm not really a gigantic fan of painting large models. So, even though I love this bear, he's just not as fun as painting the little guys. Painting the challenge of this particular line has to do with the fact that these are chibi-style miniatures. So you're going to want to spend some extra time doing things like faces, eyes are very important because they're so prominent on the miniature. So it's going to test the freehand skill a little bit. The rest of the minis are pretty small, pretty simple. So that's where your speed painting is really going to kick in, is doing the rest of this model. For example, the fur here on the bear hat, I should say, is really just a Vallejo model color yellow ochre with some Ogren flesh wash highlighted up in a few spots. So really not, the miniatures themselves don't take terribly long to do once you get past the challenges like doing the eyes and doing the faces and doing the skin right. So plays very much to my whole MO with regards to speed painting, or I should say painting for gamers. But where do I find the time to do all this stuff, and how do I actually break that time out? Well, like I said, 40 hours a week I normally work. When I get home, most of the time, believe it or not, when I get home is spent with my wife. Just going out to dinner, watching TV together, talking about our days, that sort of thing. That's, when I get home around 4:30, that'll take me to about 8, 9 p.m., sometimes later. And so a lot of my painting happens late at night after she's gone to bed and I have some time in between. But some of the things that I can be doing while she's around and doesn't mind are things like laminating cards, fixing the box for the foam that I wanted to insert in the foam. Simple things like that. You could be priming miniatures. You could be prepping. If you're hanging out in the house and she just really wants to talk or watch TV, you could be doing stuff like that too. You could prime miniatures right when you get home and then spend the rest of the time with your wife and kids, and then get back to painting late at night. But yeah, typically it's a late at night type of thing for me. I generally set aside around 1 to 2 hours per night to paint. I've had this box set for about a week and a half, and there have been some constant interruptions. But that said, still making fairly good progress. Like I showed you from the box, the kobolds are done. And so the way I do this, honestly, is I take my favorite miniatures and I save those for last. And I save those for last because that's like the best part of the steak, or like the dessert, really, is you do, you go through your meat and veg, or in this case, like the boring stuff. I'll do a 10-pack of kobolds at once, and then my dessert at the end of that would be like doing a hero. And then I'll go back and do it again. I'll do another 10 kobolds, do another hero, do another 6 or 8 what I consider to be the boring pieces, and then I'll treat myself to a nice piece. And that's more motivation to keep me going throughout the project and just keep me on my toes. And the other thing it does is it keeps your painting skills very sharp. When you're painting things like in high repetition, like kobolds or treasure chests or spawn points, your painting style and your painting technique tends to suffer a bit because you're just trying to move through these models so quickly. And if you went through the whole box that way, that may mean that the heroes and stuff may suffer by the time you get to them. So I wanted to avoid that, and I also wanted to really enjoy my favorite part of this whole box set, which is the heroes. So I've been breaking it out in groups like this, and so this is now my 4th pass, I believe. So 4 sets of boring things, and I'm actually going to be doing my 4th hero. I'm even doing the heroes in the backwards order of least favorite to favorite. So I started off doing the dwarf first. break him out so you guys can see. Very simple paint jobs, and I'm painting these guys to match my online guild, because it's sort of an homage to them, and so these are based on characters from my online guild. So I started with the dwarf, so he's very simple. You can see that this blue gold type of blue, gold, and white were our guild colors. So for some of them, I'm going to be sticking to that. For other ones, you know, I'm sticking to what they wore in games. This is actually Heretic of You's Ultima Online character. I'm basing this guy off. Actually, in his name, Heretic of You is very based on this character. So he's got, you know, he's a very savage character, very dark skin. He's kind of like an African American type skin. And so I painted him up, painted up the Riffling Rogue. Was another kind of a fun character. Now this character is from our Ultima Online. She wasn't on our guild because we played a lot of Order and some Destruction, but she's one of our favorite forum goers and members from the Warhammer Online side. And then I picked up like the Metal Candy and Cola, who's going to be our guild mascot, because we have a online friend, our character, who has over the years been our mascot. So hopefully I'll try to paint some of these heroes on camera and try to get that better for you. So anyway, that's, you know, those are the challenges you face when you're looking at big projects like this. I would say I'm about a little over 50% done with this whole box. But from here, things are going to get a little bit slower. I'm going to be doing fewer models, but taking more time doing them. My last real big batch of models is going to be the dragon, like the dragon spawn, the whelps, and these creatures. And the box is doing them red. I'm actually going to probably try green flesh tone, because green is really fun. So I'll paint all of those in one batch, and then when they're done, I'm going to pick the next hero in line, which is going to be probably the barbarian. So she's got a little hair on her, but so I'll probably be painting these, and then the barbarian, and then we'll just and then once that's done, it's really just going to be the mini bosses, the boss, and the heroes. So I saved the best, at least for me, for the last part of the project. So anyways, that's what I'm working on. Like I said, Malifaux folks, just stay tuned. Stick with me on this. We're going to be going back to Malifaux once this is all done. But this should be very fun. And I should be... I'll probably try to show you guys a few of the painting as I go through, and try to improve my video quality as well. Sorry this went on so long, but yeah, I just want to let you guys know what's going on, some of the methodologies for approaching large projects like this and finding time to do that, and let me know if you have any questions or any thoughts, and thanks for watching.